Hey everybody. Yeah, that blanket cocoon thing is over. Please be sure to check out my movie review on Cocoon in order to get that reference. Please. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Kaze, and originally today I was in the mood to show off and talk about the numerous women who have told me that my lips are some of the best they have ever kissed in their lives. Reality eventually set in, and I noticed they only say those things because they had nothing positive to say about my dick. So therefore, we're going to forget about anybody kissing me and just take a trip back to the 1980s and look at the overlooked horror movie, The Kiss. So the movie begins in 1963 Congo, where two child sisters, Felice and Hillary, are saying goodbye to each other. They're doing this because Felice, the younger of the two, is not feeling well, apparently. So Hillary stays behind with the father, while Felice's aunt takes her on a train, and she shows her this creepy statue, which she claims has been in the family for generations. While on the train, the aunt appears hypnotized, possibly by the statue, and attacks Felice, choking her and seemingly kissing her. The aunt is found dead, and Felice is next seen looking sneaky as she escapes off, while the aunt's body is left dead on the train. Keep in mind that there are people around after this attack had happened, and nobody said a thing. Fast forward 25 years later, and Hillary has a husband named Carl, played by Nicholas Cobertus, who I never saw in anything else or can remember, and she has a daughter named Amy, played by Meredith Salenger, who I automatically recognize from the 1995 Village of the Damned remake.
What's the matter? I want some.
Hillary gets a call from Felice saying she is coming to visit, and Hillary does not want any part of it. After she dies in a bizarre car accident, while considering buying a gun, might I add, Felice shows up months later, played by Joanna, who I became a big fan after seeing this movie. She then gets all acquainted with the family that she never knew. Carl invites her to stay, making Amy uncomfortable with her aunt's behavior, with certain foods that she eats, and just how she carries herself. It's just kind of weird. It turns out these feelings are justified because Aunt Felice was apparently possessed by some type of evil, magical creature after her encounter as a kid. I say this because we are never exactly told. Hopefully, Amy and Carl can put an end to whatever Felice is up to, saving their bizarre family and those close to them. So that is the basic plot of The Kiss, a Canadian and American joint production. This was directed by Penn Dinsham with practical effects by the great Chris Wallace, who did such classics as Gremlins and The Fly remake. I'm not really familiar with any of Dinsham's work, but this wasn't a badly shot film by any means. The practical effects are used wisely, and for the most part, given the time period, look good. A particular favorite of mine is one that involves a classroom anatomy model in there. I think especially when they show some close-ups on the eyes and stuff, it's kind of creepy. So I say I give this about a 6 out of 10 film. This is very creative, however, it leaves a lot of questions unanswered with its premise and its characters, unfortunately. So here's where I'm going to go into some spoilers and some minor issues I have with the film. So here we go. By the way, I should also point out that the reason this movie is called The Kiss is because the creature is transferred from mouth-to-mouth contact of the same female bloodline. Problem 1 with this film is that we are not invested into any of the characters who die. In the opening train attack, young Felice is attacked by her aunt within 7 minutes of the film starting, and by that point, it's a little off-putting, but we don't really have a reaction to it because the movie has no reaction to it. It just cuts to 25 years later. Hillary dying in a weird car accident influenced by Felice was a time that I feel that they do show that their characters have some emotion to a character dying. However, I just personally feel it would have been better to keep Hillary alive so that way her and Felice could show the conflict between the two as adult sisters. Amy and her friend Heather go to the mall after having a talk about how weird Felice is, who overhears this. This leads to Heather having an accident on the escalator where her necklace gets caught and she can't free herself. Now, the thing is, while this is happening, Amy is the only one who is going ahead and helping her friend being choked on the escalator, and there are other people around. Anybody else? Anybody else want to help the young teen being choked on an escalator by her chain? Anybody? Nobody? Okay. She survives, but her accident is kind of joked about by Amy's classmates and even Carl. Remember, Carl is Amy's father, and he kind of makes a joke about her friend being choked on an escalator. Okay. A potential love interest named Terry, played by Sean Levy, who is the director of the Night at the Museum movies, Free Guy, and the upcoming Deadpool 3. He gets killed, and it's fairly ignored. A priest, who apparently was the most proactive in trying to stop Felice, gets spontaneously combusted while in an elevator. Nobody responds to it. So it's very hard to feel anything for these characters because it seems too unreal. Problem 2 is that we are never given an explanation as to what the hell Felice is. Is she a demon, witch, just possessed? Is she aware of what she's doing, or is the creature inhabiting her calling all the shots? Felice and Carl make with the sexy time, and he's completely infatuated with her. I'm sorry, he seems to be infatuated with her even before they have sex. So then we fast forward that towards the end, there is, Felice has Amy captured, and she's about to do some kind of ritual, which wasn't, however, needed in the beginning of the film in order to transfer this entity. Yeah. Anyway, Carl goes ahead and he confronts Felice in an attempt to save Amy. When he confronts her, all she does is make a seductive face at him, and they make with the sexy time again. Amy comes to, and well, not that way, but Amy wakes up, and she goes ahead and she makes her attempt to escape. Felice notices this, unstraddles herself right off of Carl, and Carl, grabbing her arm in an attempt to stop it and save his daughter, he tells Felice, whispering, "No." And at that point, she just goes ahead and grabs his arm and breaks it. Our hero, everybody. She has a creepy cat familiar that does her bidding. Again, not explained if she transformed a cat like Merlin's Shop of Magical Wonders, or if the cat is just evil. It's just strange because I feel this could have been a better film with another draft or two of a script or just better world building. Whatever. I won't ruin how this movie ends, but I will say that it is one of those endings that leaves us with no exclamation. No explanation before the credits roll. So that was 1988's The Kiss. Not to be confused with the silent film of the same name, even though that would make this a very interesting remake if it was. Maybe that was what its intention was, so who knows. Have you seen this movie? Did me talking about it make you interested in its world of sensual horror confusion? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like or dislike the video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace and love to be continued. Mwah!